Hello everybody, and welcome back to the Lost Mine Pokemon Trading Card Game channel. I'm Lucas, and today we have a Iono's Trainer deck profile. This deck is all about attaching a lot of energies and doing a ton of damage. It's pretty fun, so let's get into it. First off, we start with 4 Iono's Voltorb. This card is your main attacker. So, what it does is this attack does 20 more damage for each lightning energy attached to your Iono's Pokemon. So not just to this Voltorb, for all of your Iono's Pokemon. Keep in mind that this is a 1-prizer, and it's your main attacker. So that does already make this deck have some potential, because then you can basically force a 5 to 6 knockout game. Most of the time, I'd say around 4 or 5. Next up, we have 3 Iono's Tadpole and 2 Iono's Bellibolt EX. This is how you get your energies onto the board. For those of you who don't know, Iono's Bellibolt EX has 280 HP and has the ability Electric Streamer. As often as you like during a turn, you may attach a basic lightning energy card from your hand to one of your Iono's Pokemon. It also doesn't have too bad of an attack for the early game. For 4 energy, it does 230, and during your next turn, this Pokemon cannot attack. So that is how you're going to charge up your Iono's Pokemon to attack with Iono's Voltorb. It is a little bit difficult, but in the early game you will be doing a decent amount of damage. And in the late game you're hoping to get some one-hit knockouts. Your draw engine is 2 Iono's Kilowattrel and a Pheasantipity EX. And that is all the Pokemon we play. You guys know what Pheasantipity EX does. Iono's Wattrel, 1 retreat costs 60 HP basic, but Iono's Kilowattrel is you must discard a basic lightning energy from this Pokemon in order to use this ability. Once during your turn, you may draw cards until you have 6 cards in your hand. So that is your draw engine, and like I said, we're just going to use Iono's Bellibolt to attach to this, discard the lightning energy attached to it, and draw 6 cards. So, you don't really need too many cards in this deck. It's pretty low maintenance. You can cycle pretty easily with this deck, and I'll show you how later. But it is good to have. It's good to build up your hand and attach as many lightning energies as possible, and that will draw you into a bunch of lightning energies. For our Pokemon search, we play 4 Buddy Buddy Poffin and 3 Ultra Ball. You don't really need too many Pokemon. You just need a Kilowattrel and a Bellibolt mainly, and like a Fez, but you can draw into any of them at any point. You're playing a bunch of draw supporters, so you are going to hit one. Typically, you only need about 3 Ultra Balls, but you need your Buddy Buddy Poffins because it is your way of getting your attackers and all of your support basic Pokemon, other than Fez. So, you can add a 4th Ultra Ball if you wish. It wouldn't be bad, but this list is very tight. Next up, we have 4 Earthen Vessel. It's just your best way of finding energies, which is, in turn, draw and damage. So Earthen Vessel is just the best card in this deck. And then for our recovery, we play 1 Superior Energy Retrieval, 1 Super Rod, and 1 Night Stretcher. You want enough Pokemon recovery so that you can attack with 5 Voltorbs. So you only really need like 1 Night Stretcher, realistically, because they are going to be able to kill an Iono's Bellibolt or a Pheasantipity at some point in the game. But these cards also act as great ways of returning energies. Like Super Rod is just a plus 60 damage card in some situations, and Superior is just a plus 80. And it's also, Superior is just literally draw because of how good Kilowattrel is. And our Ace Spec is 1 Prime Catcher. I mean, some other considerations for Ace Specs, if you're considering like changing or you just don't really want to play Prime Catcher, you could play like an Unfair Stamp. You could play a Secret Box. But Prime Catcher is just by far and away the best one for this deck. You only need to gust a couple times with this deck, but on those turns you need to gust, it's best to have an item. We also do only play 1 Boss's Orders in this deck, so the Prime Catcher is really going to be, really has to carry its weight. And it will. You're going to get pretty good one-shots with the Prime Catcher and the Voltorb. You can just pick off like Pheasantippities. For our supporters, we have 4 Research, 3 Ionos, and 1 Boss's Orders. I'm pretty sure 2 Gust is enough. I haven't played an obscene amount of games with this deck, but I think you just want to attack into a small little thing, take a knockout, and then in a couple turns, you're just going to be like literally one-shotting whatever in the active. So you only need a couple turns of Gust just to get around those awkward middle turns, awkward early turns. 3 Ionos, very strong. Like, this deck's going to be using Iono incredibly well. You're going to Iono multiple times throughout the game and put them on low hand sizes because they have to kill these, like, little one-prizers on a lot of turns. So they can go down to, like, 2, 3 prize cards, and you just get multiple really strong Ionos that they have to draw out of. Research is just amazing in this deck because you want to be aggressively finding and attaching energies, and research is the best way to do that. Next up, we have 3 of the new Levincia stadiums. Once during each player's turn, the player may put up to 2 basic lightning energies from their discard pile into their hand. So basically, with Kilowatt Roll, this stadium is you can draw until you have 6 cards in your hand. It's insane. It also recovers the lightning energies that your Voltorb loses. You don't have to be as worried. You don't have to be super worried about discarding lightning energies throughout the game. This pulls its weight for sure. And if you're wondering why there's like literally no cards on this table, it's because you have to play 20 lightning energies in this deck. Your multiplier with Voltorb just isn't enough in a lot of situations. So you need to have like 20 lightning energies to meaningfully be able, or to like reasonably be able to knock out a big Pokemon at some point in the game. Like, you need 17 lightning energies to kill a Charizard. But you should be able to draw them eventually. Like, you can realistically get like 1 or 2 big attacks off with this deck. In all actuality, this deck it's okay, but it most likely isn't better than Goldango. But I would encourage you to try it because this deck does have potential. It's just a 1-prize beat stick deck, and if your 1-prizer can knock out 2 prizers, that's pretty dang good. Basically, you're just trying to, for the early turns, Kilowatt Roll, Voltorb, you're trying to set up a couple Kilowatt Rolls, and you don't have to, you can miss a couple turns of attacks, but you ideally do want to be swinging for like 80 on a basic like Ralts or something, for example, just to put pressure on your opponent. But yeah, this deck is pretty simple, pretty straight to the point. You're just kind of a big beat stick deck. That is all I have for the video today. If you want to find the Lost Mine on other social media platforms, you can find me, Lucas, on Twitter at LucasOldale, Twitch at LucasOldale, and that's pretty much it. I mean, you can follow me on Blue Sky at LucasOldale, but I don't ever use it. I should though. I've been meaning to. For Landon, you can find him at KaitlerTCG on Twitch. He's thinking about starting streaming soon. You can find him on Metafy at Landon Kaitler or KaitlerTCG, I forget. And then on Twitter at KaitlerTCG. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I hope you have a good rest of your day. Okay, goodbye.